Okay, so today is September 30th, 2020, and this is what's happening. Ugh. I'm sort of depressed, we know that, right? So, anyway, I went out yesterday to the grocery store. And I did, I guess you call it a grocery haul. I spent about $550, $570. I spent $350 at one store, and then at London Drugs I bought more salmon, coffee, got some mayonnaise, that kind of stuff. That, you know, it racked up pretty. And soup, canned soup, 89 cents a can. It was a bit expensive. You know, I bought like 24 cans, 26 cans at 89 cents a can. You do the math, right? And that was on sale. I suppose, you know, if I had a car, you know, I could, like the good old days, go from store to store to store and find these things a little cheaper somewhere else. But you kind of have to go from store to store to store and drive around, right? And I don't have a car and I don't drive, so not anymore anyway, not lately. All right, I have to get new driving glasses before I do that, and I would only borrow my car, my son's car once in a while. I think I'm going to sell Betsy. I can't justify people putting in another $600-700 just to tune her up. Well, it wouldn't cost that much, maybe $400, just to give her a good tune-up, and then I'd have to buy a battery. So by the time you're done with taxes, you're looking at $550, you know, and then insurance, and, you know, you got to fill up the gas tank. And for as much driving as I'm going to do, as I do with or without a car, it doesn't make any economical sense, right? You know, like, those days are gone. I've had that car for like 30 years, and, you know, it's really unfortunate that it was parked in the manner that it was parked, but whatever. Okay, so that's not what I'm talking about, right? Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna show you what I bought just for fun, okay? Because I bought more meat. I bought 2 extra roasts, right? I'm gonna can them. Only this time, I wanted to roast them and then can them. I don't want to just can raw meat, right? That's the easiest and the fastest, but I've got enough of that. I want to try something different, and that's why I bought the meat. One, because it was $5.99 a pound. It was on sale, right? And 2, I wanted to try it this way, and then I can just feel satisfied, right? I've got lots of canned beef. I've got the frozen canned beef. I've got the beef that I ground up and did, and just, I got it all over the place, okay? So this last batch, I thought I was going to bake it in the oven, roast it, right? And then you can it, but you only par cook it. In other words, you only cook it halfway through. You don't cook it fully through, okay? So I'm going to roast it in the oven, right? I guess, halfway through, okay? I'm gonna spice it up with tarragon, because tarragon and beef are very good. Now I have tarragon, but I think I bought some more, right? Because I just see tarragon, right? And I have, because I was doing something else with tarragon. I'm pretty sure it was tarragon. Anyway, I got fresh tarragon that I'm gonna rub this beef down with, right? And I'll put garlic in it, and you know, just some spices and that type of stuff, right? And I'm gonna bake it halfway through. That's what I'm gonna do. And then after it cools, I'm gonna chop it up. Thing is, it's probably better to have some broth, right? So I'd have to go hunting around looking for some beef bones or something, right? Maybe boil up some beef bones, but for what it's worth, it's gonna take too long. So might be better just to add a bit more water in with the roast itself, right? And then you can flavor it with some carrots and a little bit of onion. You could you know, right? And then, because I'm going to brown the roast, I'm going to flour it. I'm not making a sauce, so it's not like the flour is going to cause a problem, but I want to brown it. I want to sear it first, right? This is what I want to do. I don't know if you're supposed to can flour, so I should probably avoid that. Okay? So I'm going to sear it anyway. I'm going to sear it, that we know, right? On hot with oil, right? Sear it. Shh, right? Flip it over, sear it, you know, kind of crisp it up a little bit just on the outside, right? With you don't want to burn it though, because you're going to have the tarragon, right? And then this would burn if you sear it too much. Okay, anyway, we know I'm going to do something, right? And then probably put a bit more water in there with the carrot and everything, so I get a little bit more juice. And then whatever juice is in the actual, because it won't have time to evaporate, right? Because you only have cooking it. You're just cooking the vegetables, right? Seeping, making a more richer broth, right? And then you divide that broth in between the jars with the meat. And then if you need to top it off with anything, in that situation, you would just top it off with a little bit of hot water, right? And if you do it that way, the meat doesn't shrink as much, right? Apparently it doesn't, and it has a slightly different texture, and it retains its shape better. I don't know. I've never done it before. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. Okay, created more work for myself, obviously, but I have the jars, and I can, you know, why not? So I'm depressed. I could have went out and spent $550. I'm serious, on makeup. Okay, I could have went out. And I'm in the grocery store cracking jokes with the tellers. I'm like, I'm depressed, right? This is how can you tell? And they're looking at me, right, as I'm going through with this whack of food. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I could go out and buy a bunch of makeup, and, you know, some clothes, right, from Fashion Nova or wherever, you know. I could just do all that to deal with my depression. But this is how I do it, right? So now I'm rolling out with big-ass buggies full of food. Well, not as much as the good old days, but still a fair amount for what you get, right? And that's the point. The cost of food is getting more and more and more expensive. So if you have that little extra money, and I'm going to get to that, okay? If you have that little extra money, and I might even keep this video short, cut it off. We'll see. We'll see how long I talk for, right? Because otherwise it will be a 2-hour video. I might start fresh with the food, because this is going to be an all-dayer. So anyway, because I'm in crises, people. I'm in crises. Not only am I living in a society that's completely fucked up, like seriously, right? You know, and you've got people that are like, I don't even want to call them people, because they're not people. Okay, I don't know what we're dealing with here, but they're like distractors, and they're infected with something that are leading human beings down the wrong garden path, okay, literally. And I don't want to dwell on it, right? And I have to look after my own family. So this is how I'm dealing with my depression, okay, in terms of this bullshit that's going on in our society. So, okay, so I did that, and I'm cracking jokes with the tellers, and, you know, more than one teller, and, you know, with the security guys. I'm walking out the door with the buggies. You know how they always have somebody standing around, right? You know, so anyway, with the taxi driver, because I had to take a taxi home, and it was just too much to bring home in a buggy and a pull buggy, right? And I had a little May with me. So anyway, the other thing is, though, you know I've been in this house for 10 years, right? 10 years is a long time, people. When I moved in, they told me, and like, this depresses me, okay? And I'm trying not to panic over it, okay? All right? You know, a leaky boat is better than no boat. A leaky X-Club is better than no X-Club. A leaky shed is better than no shed, right? You know, a leaky greenhouse is better than no greenhouse. I mean, it always goes back to that default, right? So, When I moved in, apparently it had a brand new furnace. Okay, fair enough. I was told that the vents were clean, but they weren't clean, people, because I went in there with the vacuum hose and tried to clean out what I could. Anyway, long story short, I have been in this house for 10 years and the vents have never been cleaned. Okay? Because technically the landlord is supposed to pay for that. Right? That's general maintenance. Just like servicing the furnace. It's general maintenance. Right? Same thing with the gutters. It's general maintenance. Right? Same thing with the chimney. General maintenance. Because here's the thing. I've been in this house for 10 years. I want to use the fireplace downstairs this winter. One, to burn up a little bit of this wood. I don't know if you can burn 2x4s in there, but if an emergency happened and the hydro went out and we had nothing and that's all we had to keep ourselves warm, trust me, you'd want those 2x4s no matter what. But I've got other wood that is meant for fireplaces, right? So, and I've got this beautiful cast iron. Oh, it's big, right? It's like, it's big. Cast iron, it stands and it has little feet on it, right? With a nice heavy lid. And I want to cook beans or something in it in the fireplace. I do. And do a video on it, right? You know, and play the piano. Auntie ShaMay's piano. Went downstairs, spend a day down there, you know. And the heat rises, so it'll come up, right? And it build those memories for the kids, right? For Andre and Alea May and Amari. And, you know, that's why I'm kind of wanting to do this, right? But I have to pay for the chimney to get it cleaned. So that's $209, right? Because it's never been cleaned and I've been in this house for 10 years. I don't know if I cleaned it once before. I can't remember. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But anyway, it's going to cost me $210 to get this chimney cleaned. Right? And as I'm doing that, my back window door, sliding door, the whole frame has to be changed. And we've been putting it off year after year. My landlady said, yeah, find somebody, you know, get some quotes and we'll do it because it needs to be done, right? That's a big ticket item for her. Just like last year, she did the kitchen and finished up with the bathroom. Bathroom took years, okay? But it's done now, right? The kitchen floor and all that is done now. And you just seen me use some of that kitchen floor with the actual vinyl from the kitchen in the shed, right? So, you know, but because she's doing the window, I don't know how much that's going to be, but, you know, we're looking at $1,000 or more just to do that. Right? It's hard for me to say, well, I want the furnace serviced. I want the chimney cleaned. I want the gutters done. I want. When she doesn't even want this house. Literally. Right? It's more economical for her to sell the house right now at this point, make mad money and not have to worry about it, than to keep me here and have me ask her to do things when she doesn't necessarily want to make the investment into the house itself, because the house as a whole financially is a burden. Okay? So that's like a form of gaslighting that I have to live with, and I've been living with it for a long time, because the deal was, when I first took the house, and if it wasn't presented to me in the way it was presented, I would have never taken the house, was take it now, we'll never raise the rent, stay as long as you want. But if you leave and you come back, I can't guarantee that the house will be here for you, so if you want it, take it now. Well, I took it then, people, and I've been in this yard for basically 10 years, for more than 2/3 of my life in those 10 years. Through it all, rigmarole of bullshit. Right? And I'm at the point now where the gutters kind of have to be done. She knows that, right? So she knows I'm looking for somebody. Now, I did find somebody that said it will cost maybe $150 or a bit, right? Because they need to be cleaned and repaired. Something. So I'm paying for this, people. Okay? Because she knows, but she knows, right? You know, and it's not that she wants it to happen, right? She just, okay, right? Now, whether she's going to reimburse me, I don't know, people. I could see her maybe not wanting to reimburse me for the chimney. I could see that because it's not a real necessity, and, you know, times are tough, and she'll say, well, I haven't raised the rent, and if you really want it, you pay for it. And that's like, okay, I can maybe go with that, like these fluorescent lights. I'm having a guy come in the next few days, and he's changing both of them, upstairs and down, because they're not good for your eyes, people. They're not. Uncle John, that would be the first thing Uncle John would tell you. They're not good for your eyes because, you know. And I've been under them for 10 years, and, like, it's time to go. Anyway, I have to pay for that. She'll pay for it, but I give her an extra $50 every month to compensate for whatever this dude's charging, and at this point, it's $150 for the 2 ballots. But I need him to change this light fixture with the incandescent bulbs, because I can screw in like 6 of them, right? With and then because of my eyes, and you know the house is facing north, right? So when, and it's an old rancher with small windows, so you know I need the light, right? So I'm looking at $150, maybe. I don't know what he'll charge me to do that, but and then that's an extra $50 a month on my rent, right? To compensate for that. So I have to already pay for the lights. I know that she's probably going to ask me to pay for the chimney, which is okay. I mean, I've been here 10 years, right? The thing is, I'm sneaking in the furnace because I don't want to. But I warned her already. I warned her in the spring. I told her there's something going on with this furnace. I think, I'm not sure, right? Because it's not kicking in, or it won't shut off, or something. Something was going on over the course of the winter, where it was like it just didn't seem its normal self. Right, in terms of, because it has never been serviced, people. I've been here 10 years. It was a new furnace, right? Doesn't need to be serviced. It was new. Well, it's been 10 years. It needs to be serviced. And since he's servicing it, right, then we might as well do the vents at the same time, in light of they weren't done before I moved in, and I've been here 10 years. Thing is, I'm paying for it. I'm going to pay for it when they come in a week from now, right? And then after that, the next time I pay rent, I'm going to be like, okay, this is what I did, right? Because you knew I was going to do this. How are we going to work this out? Am I expected to cover the cost of everything? Because by the time I'm done, I'm looking at about $700, people, which technically I can't afford. I'll get to it, though. I'll tell you why I can right now at this point, right? But, I mean, that money should be going on bills, right? Or more food. Anyway, so I'm looking at $210 for the chimney, right? We're looking at $300 for the furnace and the vents, right? And then, of course, if there's something wrong with the furnace, then she'll have to pay, right? So when she comes, I'm going to tell her what I'm doing. I'm going to tell her what it's costing me, and that she may have to do furnace repairs, because she knows, because we've already talked about it, right? Point is I'll be paying for it, right? First. So that's what? That's $500. And then we'll just round it off at $200 for the gutters. That's $700. That's not even including the $150 for the ballots. As I have panic attack every day, waiting for the stalkers and the trolls to cause more shit in my life, because they think it's funny and they're going to get Amari, right, and do a better job, right, and convince everybody around them as to how much they love him, right? But yet can't, like I say, stand over a hot stove and make him anything, even if they wanted to. Because the first thing that they would do is run to the grocery store and go buy it. Because that's what responsible people do, right? Because I'm getting harassed, people. Okay? With sarcastic remarks. Just a bunch of bullshit, right? So anyway, alright, so we're looking at $700 plus another $150. So that's $850 right there. Okay? $850 I'll be paying out within a week. Basically. $700 cash of my own, and then I owe my landlady $150. But thing is, once they're done, they're done. Right? You don't have to worry about the furnace fucking putting out carbon monoxide and killing us in our sleep. Right? That's a big one, right? You know, it's 10 years. It needs to be serviced. Right? If there's something wrong, well, she'll fix it, right? You know, the gutters, like, it's hard on houses to be having gutters fucking doing what these gutters do around here. You've seen it. You go into my videos, right? So something needs to be done. Hopefully he'll be able to patch them up, right? And then I don't have to worry about it. Same thing with going down the stairs. Just make it so it doesn't leak, so when I go down the stairs, I'm not tracking in all this crap that's falling down onto the fucking stairs, because we don't have inside stairs, people. We have to go on the outside to go between the two suites. It's stupid, but a leaky boat is better than no boat, right? And then the chimney. You know, it will help to maybe cut back on the gas bill. And not only that, but it will also build good memories. You know, I don't have to have a lot of fire all the time. You know, just once or twice a week would be nice, right? And then I get to bring out my cast iron pot, and, you know, we get to try, you know, a couple of recipes, and, you know, sit down and play Auntie ShaMay's piano, right? And just get on with life kind of thing, right? The lights, I'm hoping once these fucking things are out of here, it will be better for me, because I'm putting in another clandestine lights, right? The light bulbs, the normal simple light bulbs, like the good old days. I can screw 6 of them in. Turn on a light, boy, oh boy, that'll be good for me, right? Because I'm going blind. I have dark spots, yeah. And this flashing of the fluorescent is hard on my eyes. But because I want it, I have to pay to get them changed. Because in her mind, she's providing me with light. And it's not that she's being ignorant about it. She just has her budget. And I can respect that. And I don't have to have the chimney guy come and do shit, or the furnace guy, or the gutter guy. I don't have to have these guys come home, come to this house and do this stuff, pay for it, and then barter with my landlady as to what's, you know, how we're going to divvy up the share in terms of, right, the cost of it, right? But it depresses me. That's the thing. It depresses me, right? Because it's an argument that I don't want. Not that it's going to be an argument. It's an agitation that I don't want, right? It's one thing spending the money. It's another thing spending the money, and then, well, it's you know, I don't want, I'd want the comfort of knowing that it's done, and then have to deal with the agitation around it. But it depresses me. And instead of going off and buying makeup and all this other crap, right, I went off and bought $550 worth of food. And you're probably thinking, well, where did she get all this money from? Well, let me tell you, child support works. This is child support from when Mark Cain was young. And Mark Cain's almost 30. So you do the math. Mark Cain's dad, actually, who is a Johnson... He's a Johnson, people. He's from Texas. A real Johnson. A real man who paid child support and still pays child support even after 30 years. That's where I got the money. The only thing is, I was going to spend that money and renew and re-register the trademark for the United States for my friends. It wasn't so much for me. It was for my friends, so that portal, that opportunity, that, holding hands and helping each other, that remains, right? Because I'm in debate, well, whether I should renew it or not. Why do you want to spend $2,000 or whatever it is to register, to re-register a trademark that is just, doesn't seem to be going anywhere in life in terms of charitable work and all that stuff, right? So, but after this petition with ShaMay and all those names, with their comments coming in from the United States, and, just real sincere people who actually care more than these Canadians out here care about ShaMay. Well, So anyway, I phone up the trademark office and I say, okay, I got the money now, because I've been struggling with it for about a month, right? Should I re-register or should I just let it go? Right? And let Tamika do her thing, because it's like throwing away money, right? And I'm like, anyway, I come to the conclusion that I'm not throwing away money, that, my friends and like real people, real honest people, they deserve a chance, right? And if you've gone this far, 20 years deep into the game, you're just not going to walk away from that, especially when those people, right, support you in your cause with your daughters or grandson or whatever it may be, right? So I phone up the trademark. I'm going to just upload this, right? I'll show you a little bit what I got, and then I'll start fresh with the meat, okay? I have to go outside and work on the cement. So I'm only going to do some of the meat. What time is it? Yeah, it's still 9:30. So I want to vacuum seal the pork, because I bought a lot of pork. I'll show you. And once that's vacuum sealed, then I already planned my day. I'm going to go out in the front and I'm going to finish up with the cement that I have before the weather gets real bad and I can't use it. And then this way, waste not, want not, right? And it's nice enough that it will dry. So my afternoon is booked with cement. So I phone up the trademark office. I'll say, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to re-register. I made a final decision, right? I think it's important. And so he pulls up my file and blah, blah, blah. And, well, you can't do nothing. I said, what do you mean I can't do nothing? I thought it's due, right? Oh, well, even if you wanted to, no, you can't do nothing until June of 2021. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. He goes, no. And I'm like, wow, okay. Well, you just saved me a whole whack of money. Right? But I found out that instead of doing it by myself, like I could have done before, I guess the Trump government brought in a law, somebody brought in a law, it's federal, so it's done through the federal parliament, right? Where if you're outside of the country and you want to re-register or do whatever with your trademark, you have to get a U.S. lawyer. So now I'm on the hunt for a U.S. lawyer. For intellectual property. Yeah, but I've got a year and a half to, one, locate a lawyer that's affordable for that, and two, to put in my, re-registration application, right? So that's why I have this money. But of course I'm depressed, right? So I'm like, you never get out. You got, you're going to be out in the yard pretty soon again, working like a damn dog, you're picking grapes all day fucking long, like all day, and, and just whatever it may be, right? I'll just go for a walk and buy a few things, because I was downstairs pulling out stuff from that one area and I need to, you know, repack it. So before I repack everything and push everything and put it away, you know, I needed more salmon. I wanted some soup. You know, there's still a few other things I want, but anyway, I bought the salmon, so I'm going to go, you know, put it downstairs with the rest of the salmon that I just put in with my videos. If you're watching, you know, I bought 24 cases of soup, so I'll at least I'll store one case for now anyway, maybe two, and then just go off and buy more soup. So I have the 2 cases because I like to put the case on the bottom and then the jar's on top, right? And then it fills up the shelf so the cats can't get in there. I mean, who wouldn't be depressed? You put your food away, you come back and then find out that the cats were running through there. Like, what the fuck, right? So, you know, shit like that depresses me, right? So, I'm like, okay. So anyway, I went off and I did that, people. I spent $550 of that money that I was going to use to re-register the trademark for my American friends, right, in support of humanity and what we're all going through between the 2 countries, that type of thing, right? You know, is it a broken dream or is it a treasure? I say it's still a treasure, right? You know, and then I find out that, you know, I don't even have to do anything with it, you know, so, okay, so I'm like, okay, well, you know, now I booked all this stuff, and now I'm down to, like, getting low on money, right? And I'm like, don't back down now. Don't back down on doing the right thing. I'm sure you can work it out with your landlady, right? You know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to bankrupt her, right? I'm not. I just want to be able to go to bed at night knowing that the furnace isn't going to act stupid, right? You know, I don't want my landlady's house to get destroyed because of gutters. See, I can't go out and find somebody to do gutters for $50. It's going to cost me $150, maybe $200. She would prefer to pay $50. But it's impossible. Even if you went to the homeless shelter, you're not going to get good quality work for that, right? And, you know, I have to live here. So, you know, why would I want her house getting destroyed? It's just, it's coming in force for her. The door, right? The furnace, and we don't know if it needs extra work. That's just the furnace and the vents. I mean, what if there's something wrong with the furnace and she has to pay more money? Right? And then, of course, there's the chimney. So the the door, the furnace, the chimney, the gutters, and the lights. That's 5 things. If I was a landlord, I wouldn't want to just, yeah, go ahead. Spend money. Spend. So, but I'm okay though, because if I was really depressed, people, there would be nothing productive in any of that. Okay? Right? You know what I'm saying? Things get fixed, right? Things are checked off the list. And then, because I don't buy makeup, I have old makeup in my bedroom. If I need makeup, I have old makeup. I'm okay with that old makeup. I don't mind it. For as much makeup as I wear, it's okay. That's all I need. This stuff, though, I like. This is the stuff I like. Kind of creates work, though. You know, and it came from child support. Child support from 30 years ago. Right? And, what do you call it? What better way to spend child support than on food, right? Okay. So, we'll just start with this little bit here. I'll show you. And then I'm going to end this video. And we're going to start fresh with the pork. You've seen me do it before with the vacuum sealer. But I'm going to walk you through it anyway. Again, just quickly, fast. So that, you know, it helps you to get up on that bandwagon when you're depressed and you have a little extra money. And you, this way, you know, you'll see how things turn around. Okay, so this bag I left upstairs. You can see now Andre really likes this Campbell's soup. This one he really likes. So I bought 26 cans, right? And I'm going to buy another one because I should put 24 cans downstairs. Shelf, jars, right? And I brought up extra ones, but I'll take them down. I bought myself a whole bunch of coffee, thanks to Uncle John. I never used to drink coffee. They were $4 a jar versus $8.50 a jar. So I bought, I don't know, 6 of them, 7 of them, right? And went off and, Andre's kind of like a picky kid, like when it comes to eating. But for whatever reason, he likes hot sauce. So anyway, stocking up on hot sauce here. You can see what's going on, right? I got another one, right? So when I'm buying hot sauce, I'm buying it in mind for Andre. Okay, these ones will go in storage, right? I'll keep another one out. I think there might be another one downstairs. Anyway, you can see that. And of course, try and scoop up on lids whenever you can. They didn't have the large ones. They had the small ones. These were too expensive, but in light of the sign of the times, you know, I just bought them anyway, right? Because you can get these same box everything sometimes at the dollar store for $1.25 a box versus $3 and I don't know what I paid. We'll just say $3.50 a box. You can see how fast and quick that would add up at $3.50 a box. But you know, I can a lot, and I make a lot of food for Amari, so good to have. We have our backup with how we pop our jars, showed you that, right? But anytime you can use a new jar, the better. And then, of course, right, this was on sale, 50% off, so I paid like $3 for that. And then this one was, you know, $4, and I got a couple of, I got an extra one of these, and an extra one of those, right? You know, I mean, $4 here, you know, and then multiples of $3.50 and so on and so on. And then we've got the soup. And then, you know, it's basic. It's just basic pink salmon. It's nothing fancy, right? And this was $2.99. That's the cheapest you're going to find, basically, a can of salmon just for basic pink. You know, I'm not going to spend $7 a can for salmon, right, in terms of like a sockeye or anything, because at the end of the day, you know, for long-term food storage or in case of an emergency, right, you know, this will suffice for what you need, okay? So I bought a whole bunch of those because I'm downstairs in the food pantry packing everything up nice and tight, right? So I'll put those ones away. I just brought one up for Andre for now because he likes salmon. A couple of those, that. And then, so, yeah. We'll just leave it at that. And then we'll start fresh, I guess, with the meat. Just start a new, you know, new video, right? And, just pace myself through the day, right? Because I did buy, again, a fair amount of meat now. The only thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm vacuum sealing. I'm vacuum sealing the ground pork, and I'm vacuum sealing, and I bought two big trays of hamburger that were discounted as well, right? And some chicken legs. Everything was discounted, okay? And I had the money, right? So, now, however, I'll leave it on this note because I'm debating. I'm really debating. And honestly, I really should go find some beef bones because those bones could stew for quite a few hours, right? Because I'm going to vacuum seal the meat first, and then I'm going to go outside and work with the cement in the front and get that done with, right? So I don't waste the cement because it hardens, right, from the moisture in the air, right? And then come back in, and depending on how I feel, I was going to try and do that roast, because you only have to half cook it, right? And then canning is simple, right? So if I put beef bones in now and started stewing them now, I'd have that a little extra broth, right? Okay, don't make it, I won't make a big pot. I'll just make a small pot, right? And then I was thinking maybe what I should be thinking to do, depending on how many jars I have, just for fun, I was like, why not make pork meatballs, little pork meatballs, right? With carrot. I've got something over here that's a cabbage spice from Taiwan, ginger and cabbage. I think it's ginger or something anyway, that goes really good with pork. And I could like make little meatballs, half cook them, right? Half cook them, sear them, half cook them, spice them, everything, right? Half cook them, and then just slice carrot, right? And make a jar like this. That would be good, with a little bit of broth, right? And then that would be soft. That would be soft. And it would be different. Now, I don't need to do it. It's completely unnecessary, because I plan on just freezing the pork. You'll see, I'm going to stack them, stack and pack them. But I don't know, I just was thinking, right, that would be nice to try it. Because I kind of want to can stews where, but you can't. You're not supposed to make stew with flour, right? I don't know if it's because you're not supposed to can the flour or what it is. You're just not supposed to. People do it, though. They make cream soup this and cream soup that, and but technically you're not supposed to. So this is why this, like if you wanted this to have like a gravy versus a broth, you'd make the gravy after you open the jar and you heat it up, and then you'd put your little bit of cornstarch or flour, water, like flour and water, or cornstarch and water, or tapioca corn starch with, right? And you thicken that up after the fact, right? You don't thicken it up and then can it. That's why I'm thinking, like, because I wanted to make like a stew, right? But anyway, I'm going to leave it on this note, right? When you get depressed, just push back on it, right? Don't let it lead you to bed where you don't get out. Okay, some people do that. They get so depressed, they just laying in bed. Use bed time, lay down time, as just as a time to lay and sleep and let your body regenerate itself, right? Whether you sleep or not, your body will regenerate itself, and it will get up when it tells you to get up, and you have to listen to your body, not to what your mind is trying to tell you sometimes, okay? And if you have an addiction to, spending money when you have it, then redirect it into areas where, you can just put it away and save it for a rainy day, okay? Because for as much food is costing these days, it makes more sense to invest your money into food than it is into makeup. Because the makeup that's in the bag, regardless of what people try and tell you, you can wear that same makeup 10, 15 years later in terms of, oh, I need some eyeshadow. Okay. And you're good to go. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay.